After his win against Yair Rodriguez, I think it's safe to say that for me, Alexander Volkanovski is the greatest featherweight of all time. I know every time a champion wins a fight and defends their title, it's easy to speak in hyperbole and consider them the greatest fighter ever. I'm not gonna name any names. But when we look at the UFC featherweight division, there are a few guys in the running for the title of greatest featherweight of all time, so let's look at the resumes and compare. Don't forget to sound off down in the comments and let me know what you think. Let's start with the man of the hour, Alexander Volkanovski. Volk has never lost a fight at featherweight, and he's been fighting at featherweight since 2013. After this win against Yair Rodriguez, he's now 15-0 as a featherweight, with 13 of those featherweight wins coming in the UFC. So it's not like he had a padded featherweight record before he got to the organization. He has a win over Jose Aldo, he has 2 wins over Max Holloway, and he's now defended the featherweight title 5 times. Jose Aldo went more than 10 years undefeated from 2004 to 2015, and he defended the UFC featherweight title 7 times before being defeated by Conor McGregor. There was a long stretch where Jose Aldo just seemed like a machine. He seemed untouchable and unbeatable. It was like he was inhuman. He was as dominant gets. In terms of who really pushed the lower weight classes to the forefront, it's Jose Aldo and BJ Penn. However, Aldo does have a loss to Volkanovski, and he's got 2 losses to Max Holloway. You could make the argument that he was at the back end of his career when he had those losses, but when he lost to Holloway, he was like 31 and he was like 33 when he lost to Volk. It's not like he was like in his mid-40s and hanging on too long. He had a lot of fight miles on his body, but he was still relatively young in those fights. Full disclosure for this next part, Max Holloway is one of my favorite fighters of all time. He's one of my current favorite guys on the roster. As previously mentioned, he beat Aldo twice, but he has 2 losses to Volk. He also has a loss to Conor McGregor from way back at the very beginning of his UFC career. Max defended the title 3 times, and he's someone that I root for every single time he fights. I truly believe that if it were not for Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway would still be your UFC featherweight champion. He's just that good, and the gap between Volk and Holloway to the rest of the division is a wide gap. Both Max and Volkanovski moved up to lightweight to try to be a double champ. Max fought Dustin Poirier for an interim lightweight title, and Volk moved up and challenged Islam Makhachev for his title. I would argue that Volkanovski came closer to double champ status because the Max versus Poirier fight wasn't particularly close, and I thought Volkanovski did pretty good against Islam. Max just looked too small against Poirier at 155, and even though Volk is smaller than Max, Volk looked better at 155 and was closer to winning than Max was. You can let me know in the comments why I'm wrong about that one. Aldo actually went down a weight class to bantamweight after his featherweight run was over, but he got pieced up pretty good by Petr Yan in his title fight. And then of course you've got this guy. Conor also has a win over Aldo and a win over Max Holloway, and he has done more than any other fighter to bring the UFC to the mainstream. He's the biggest star in the sport that there's ever been. Does being the biggest star in the sport make you the greatest featherweight of all time? No, it doesn't. And you can let me know in the comments where you rank Conor in the featherweight rankings. And also in the comments, let's make fun of the people who didn't actually watch this video. They just saw Conor on the thumbnail, so they think I love Conor and they're calling me stupid even though they're stupid. Conor McGregor has never defended a championship. He very famously moved up to lightweight and won the belt there to become the first ever simultaneous double champ, but he also didn't defend that belt. For me, winning 2 belts but never defending either of them ranks lower than defending 1 belt multiple times. Even if when you tried to become a double champ, you lost that double champ fight. To say Conor McGregor did a lot for the UFC is an understatement, but in terms of being the best featherweight ever, he just isn't it. For my money, Alexander Volkanovski is the best featherweight of all time. Yes, he has wins over the other 2 guys on the short list for that title, but even if we ignore that MMA math, because MMA math is not reliable, I still think it's Volk. He did really well in his lightweight title fight, even though he lost it. He's been undefeated as a featherweight for almost 10 years. He's got 5 title defenses now. He's outclassed pretty much everyone he's fought, and he just seems to keep getting better. All of that combined with his MMA math wins over Aldo and Holloway, to me, just makes him the best featherweight of all time. I'm sure you have strong opinions, either why I'm wrong or why I'm right, so please sound off in the comments and let me know what you think. If you're still watching here at the end of the video, that means you either liked it or you really hated it. Either way, you gave me 3 or 4 minutes of your time, so why not subscribe to the channel and like the video? Because if you subscribe, you'll see more videos of mine and you can hate watch those too, or watch them and really like them. I hope the second one. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.